So for example, I give you some examples. St. Andrew Technical High School will get a renewable energy lab. Herbert Morrison is getting a robotics lab. Dintil Technical is getting a lab for digital construction. Kingston Technical is getting a virtual welding lab. And St. Elizabeth Technical is getting a mechatronics lab. This is the kind of visionary work that we're doing. We're not writing a sentence about a lab. We're actually already doing it. In terms of civics in schools, I have the wonderful minister, former Minister of Education here with me. She introduced civics back into schools in 2022. So this notion that we're going to introduce civics that the PNP has in their manifesto makes no sense because it has already been reintroduced. Over 500 schools have introduced civics. In addition to that, we are also introducing it not just at the high school level, but we're going through the entire process. So from your basic school to your primary school to your secondary school, it's been introduced. And there's so many more that I could talk about. I will go to digital transformation. And one thing that really struck me was when I read a particular sentence, and it said the PNP is promising to introduce digital identification cards with biometric security for seamless access to services. I had to read it again.
Me too.
And then I wondered if I was reading what I actually saw. And I read it again. Introduce digital identification cards with biometric security for seamless access to services. That is NIDS. That is the same NIDS that was fought.
Well, they carry
the same
court.
NIDS that was challenged, that now finds its way into a manifesto. But I'd like to remind Jamaica that NIDS was launched in late 2024. In addition to that, broadband access. The manifesto notes that they're going to be doing more broadband. We are already doing that. 700 schools, over 700 schools now have internet, and more than 380 communities have Wi-Fi. They talk about AI, artificial intelligence, and having an AI and ethics commission. We convened a AI task force early. We have an AI policy in education. We're the first country in the Caribbean to have that. We're already a leader in AI and doing big things in artificial intelligence. So as I read the manifesto, and I put on my hat as a former lecturer at UWI who used to have to mark master's theses, I had to wonder, why did it sound so much like what we're already doing? It couldn't just be that, you cut and paste. Now, I'm a big proponent of using artificial intelligence. And so as I thought through it, I realized that this must have used AI. And so I asked ChatGPT, I prompted ChatGPT to write an education plan for Jamaica. Did it in ChatGPT 5. And when the results came, which I have here, sounded just like the manifesto. The education section sounded just like that. And for those of you who know, ChatGPT 5, their data was mostly cut off in October 24. So the training data that's used was from then. And so that's why it looks so much like what we've already articulated and what we are doing. So it sounds like something from AI. And so in terms of my thoughts, having read those sections and analyzed it and analyzed the broader document, it appears that their manifesto is really a Choose the Jamaica Labour Party manifesto, or indeed a Choose the Andrew Holness administration manifesto. And I say it's indeed a love letter, but it's a love letter to the policies of the Jamaica Labour Party.
Thank you.
Choose Jamaica.
For a very impressive and comprehensive presentation, which confirms that the administration of Dr. Holness is getting it done, certainly in the area of education, but there are a number of areas as well which the opposition has commented on, which requires critical analysis. And I now turn over to the chairman of the Manifesto and Achievements Committee, the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith.
Thank you, Senator Fitzhenley. And thank you, colleagues. Good afternoon to media present. Good afternoon to... Is that on?
Yeah, so.
Listen to me, Camila. Cut out
Good
the
afternoon
foolishness.
to everyone who is with us here in the
Cut out the foolishness, man. Sure.
joining us online, everyone who is watching in Jamaica and of course overseas. I have a particular love for you, so welcome, and again, we're glad you are spending time with us. I'll just try to touch on a few areas, and I want to start with the title of the PNP's manifesto. And I want to make it clear that my view is that, and my considered view, is that the title they have used is the most insincere and disingenuous title which the PNP could have chosen for their manifesto. Why do I say this? They have spent the last 3 to 4 years tearing down Jamaica in every forum, whether domestically or internationally.
So true.
Maligning our systems recklessly without any concern as to the risk to which they have put our systems or our beloved country. They have maligned the media, which affects our global media freedom positioning on the index. They have accused us recklessly and baselessly of corruption, which affects our transparency perception index. We are grateful that the Media Without Borders or Journalists Without Borders do, however, check their facts, because we have continued to do very well within the Caribbean on that index, and we have continued to score the highest as compared to under the PNP's administration on the Transparency Perception Index, because it is recognized that the facts do not match with the PNP's narrative. However, not only to tear Jamaica down internationally, but to start your campaign with the mantra of blood and fire, recalling one of, if not the most politically violent periods in Jamaica's history, at a time when the government is working relentlessly to restore peace. And then, as you approach the election date, you magically seek to print a document with the word love on it and the word Jamaica on it, and expect that the Jamaican people should accept that you are truly a peace-loving party and that you are truly a patriotic country, when all of your conduct over the last 3 to 4 years has crossed the line long ago beyond productive and constructive criticism and opposition into unpatriotic and anti-Jamaican conduct.
Thank you, Camila. Thank you.
Disingenuous. It is, to put it softly, insincere, and I want the Jamaican people to be clear that the PNP has shown you who they are, and so we must believe them. One document, slapdash, cut and paste, AI generated, however you put it, it is not sufficient to correct who they have shown us themselves to be. The next point that I want to take is more on the lines of content. And again, however, regrettably, I have no conclusion other than that they are, again, entirely disingenuous or perhaps uninformed. The extent to which their policies replicate or repackage policies and programs in place already by the Jamaica Labour Party is astonishing. It is astonishing. And I heard someone this morning on the radio describing it as continuity, which we should celebrate. But that is in fact not the case. If it were continuity, they would say so. But what they have done is actually position the programs and the policies as if they are new and as if they are theirs, without any reference or acknowledgement to the fact that there are things in progress. That is not continuity. That is political and intellectual dishonesty or ignorance. The Jamaican people can assess and decide which one it is. Neither one is good or ready to lead. If I take that approach and apply it to the Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade section of the manifesto, because as my colleagues have worn their portfolio hats, I'm going to wear my hat for a little while. Their very first proposal, if I recall correctly, is that they will restore active re-engagement within CARICOM. Who is the chair of CARICOM? Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness is the chair of the Conference of Heads of Government and State of CARICOM at this point in time. For the second time, we have chaired COFCOR, we have chaired COTED. Prime Minister is also the chair of the External Trade Negotiations Committee in the quasi-cabinet of CARICOM, one of the areas which is most critical and on which he's leading now, given the various trade challenges which are affecting the region. We were the very first country in the Caribbean. Prime Minister Holness was the first Prime Minister in Parliament to call for the UN to assist Haiti. He was the only, and is to date, the only CARICOM Prime Minister who has gone to Haiti to meet with stakeholders, to engage with their leadership and their political and stakeholders with a view to finding solutions. Jamaica hosted 2 Haiti stakeholder meetings, including the one that delivered the breakthrough for the establishment of the Transitional Presidential Council, which is currently offering leadership to that country. To say that you are going to actively re-engage, are you uninformed or are you politically dishonest? Again, Jamaica must make the choice, having looked, but neither is good. I want to make the point as well, in respect of their engagement with CARICOM, that when we took office, I'm sure you must all know, even if you didn't personally experience, but how Jamaicans were treated when we traveled within the region was not good. And it was particularly bad with Trinidad, and our goods were not given access to their markets, and we have literally fixed both problems. We now travel with very good relations. They're not perfect. No system is ever perfect when you're relying on individuals to implement systems, but government to government, across administrations on their side, and certainly as it has been over the last 9 years, massively improved. And something that we continue to work on. Our trade within CARICOM continues to be positive. And in fact, we've even had several win-win circumstances where we have been exporting refined oil to Trinidad, which they are able to add value to and export elsewhere or on both sides. So again, to actively restore engagement, we're not sure where they're coming from with all of that. I want to also note that they have said that they will be working and restoring on international cooperation and human rights and self-determination, etc. But Jamaica has stood territorial sovereignty of Guyana and Belize in their territorial disputes. We have stood with Ukraine in their with the war which has sought to offend the principles of territorial integrity and sovereignty. We have recognized the state of Palestine with a view to seeking a two-state solution. We are the first government to make that recognition since independence, which means that the PNP has never done it, even though they're willing to try and raise a flag, again, demonstrating that they are all about gimmicks and image and what they think people want to see or hear. But when it comes to doing the actual work, the Jamaica Labour Party is doing it already. They say that they're going to engage the diaspora on constitutional reform, but Minister Malahoo Fort has been having town halls in the US and in the UK, and this process is not done yet. So they are not adding any value to the area of foreign affairs and foreign trade. And I really, really suggest that they do a little research and maybe check out our website. Now, there's another matter that I want to raise in this area, because they also said that they will restore brand Jamaica. And I also have to make the point, because it's related, that they have not even mentioned the word multilateralism in their foreign affairs section. Multilateralism is the core of small state foreign policy. One state, one vote is the only way for countries like Jamaica, like our CARICOM member states, small island developing states, to have an equal voice on the global challenges that affect us all, like climate change, like financing for development and other major issues. And to not even have it referenced in a passing way shows a fundamental lack of understanding of where we are in the world and what we need to do to navigate the very choppy seas which exist. And in restoring brand Jamaica, I have to ask, which PNP leader or member has ever been invited to the G7? Which one has ever been invited to the G20?
None.
Which one has ever been invited to BRICS Plus?
None you.
I don't know if any have. In fact, I know they haven't. But I can say that Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness has attended. And I'm happy to announce and make public that over the past month, he has since been invited to the G20 again by President Ramaphosa, the incoming president of BRICS. Of the G20. He has been invited to the G20 again by the incoming president of G20, President Ramaphosa. So we're not speaking about things that have long gone and that things have changed and our reputation has not at all. Prime Minister Holness, Jamaica, and indeed the government under the Labour Party is held in the highest regard internationally. And if I just add one more, and I know, Mr. Chairman, that I can't go on forever, but which of their leaders have ever been asked by a UN Secretary General to lead any global initiative? Again, the answer is going to be the same.
None.
Both, because Prime Minister Andrew Holness has been asked to lead more than one on climate finance, on financing for development, on the sustainable development goals, and on which he co-chairs the SG's leadership initiative. I'll deal with one more issue of content.
Give her time after. Stop looking at her after.
The PNP's manifesto is an absolute and complete and abject failure. On crime, the PNP's manifesto is a complete failure. In a country where organized gangs are responsible for more than 70% of murders, are directly responsible for more than 70% of murders. The PNP's manifesto does not even include the word gang. There's a vague reference to scamming networks in a sentence somewhere in it, but they have not even said the word gangs. They absolutely 100% do not understand how to deal with crime in this country. On the other hand, the government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Holness and Dr. Chang, have been relentlessly dismantling gangs, bringing them down from over 300 to just over 100. And that has not changed the percentage or proportion for which gangs are responsible for murders. It still remains at an average 70% because it shifts even with gang activity. I want to make it clear that this fundamental lack of understanding is the very same reason why under the PNP between 1990 to 2007, when they were in office, Jamaica became known as the murder capital of the world. It was under them and their poor crime management that murders moved from 400 to over 1,000. It is under them between 2012 and 2016 that the gangs reorganized, even though they inherited a downward trending murder rate when they took office from the Labour Party in 2012. So this is not a party that you can trust on crime. They have an opportunity, or had an opportunity, to demonstrate an understanding, and they have failed. I want to make it clear as well that even with that massive demonstration of a lack of understanding, in addition to that, we have more of their cut and paste, because of their 27 crime proposals, so the sensible ones, 70% of them are already being done. We are doing them already. And since we're doing them successfully, I think that the Jamaican people must understand that we are the party, we are the government in which they should put their trust on crime. Giving them responsibility again is going to undoubtedly reverse the gains that we have had. We are already celebrating more than 40% reduction, supporting the security forces with more mobility, more technology, more strategy, more training, more welfare support, better working conditions, more police stations that are renovated, built, and restored. And in that context, it is the Jamaica Labour Party who is the party that you should trust on crime. So I know
Shake it to the max, Kamikla.
I want to just make clear that Minister Morgan will be taking forward the issue of roads in the days to come. Minister Samuda will take on the environment and water in days to come. He did, however, ask me to make the point that on funding of NGOs, the government is already funding small NGOs in the environmental sector under the GEF Small Grant Fund, and he thought it was very important that I make this point. So I'm making it for him, but he will raise other matters. And Minister Green will also take forward issues on agriculture. So I know, Mr. Chairman, that there are more things to discuss, but I will close on that point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senator Johnson Smith, for a contribution which has made it clear that whereas national security and foreign affairs are concerned, the Jamaica Labour Party administration is achieving positive outcomes on behalf of the people of Jamaica. On the other hand, the PNP is doing quite a job of talking about getting it done and pretending that it is not being done. To all media partners, we thank you much for your patience and attention to this media conference, and we now open the floor for questions. We ask that you identify yourself and your media host, ask one question, keep the mic moving, then if you have other questions, we'll get the mic back to you. This is to ensure that as many people as possible get the opportunity to ask.
Better somebody ask about Andrew declaration.
Oh, there are no questions?
One there, one there.
I think I recognize Dwayne Anderson from Television Jamaica. Dwayne.
Yeah, thank you. Correct. Okay. Good afternoon to the people at the podium. I remember very well prior to the Jamaica Labour Party coming to power in 2016, a lot was said by the then administration about what cannot be done. And I'm listening to the Jamaica Labour Party on this particular campaign trail, and it's echoing in a similar way, some may say. Are you fearful any at all that you could be going down a similar path?
I didn't understand the question.
Is it 1.5?
Yes. So at the time, the People's National Party administration spent a lot of time telling Jamaicans why certain proposals being made by the opposition at the time cannot work. And it echoes in a similar way now. Are you concerned that Jamaicans may be receiving your position similar to then?
You want me to go ahead and you can. There's a very sharp distinction between then and now. First of all, the results of the 9-year program of this government is very, very clear. And the statistics, the official data, the sentiments on the ground can reflect that. I give you the crime stats that my colleague spoke to earlier. 40% down in murders within a year is historic. Poverty levels, employment, and all the other areas that we have identified. And we have also been able during that time to stabilize the economy, to pay down the debt. So it's a much different context. It's hard for you to compare 2016 with today, because it's a very different context totally, both in terms of the challenges, but also in terms of the achievements. But the other very sharp distinction, which gives us the right to make the claims that we make, is we say the cut and paste hodgepodge nature of what has been put out by the PNP. And the truth is, I would say close to 70% of what they have put there, if it makes sense, because it doesn't make sense in all certain cases, as we have said, it's being done in some way, shape, or form by the government. I looked at what they've said in health, and there's hardly anything there that they've said that we're not doing and making progress while doing it. And the same could be said for education, for crime management, and so on. So we have a basis on which to say that why change if you're coming to do the same things? And indeed, it's a risk. It's an experiment that is quite risky, because the people who are doing it and getting the results already justify and legitimizes their position as to why they are there. The other guys are saying, okay, we will do it too. The country can't afford that kind of imitation approach. I think, and I say so with the utmost humility and respect for the people of Jamaica and their right to make a choice. We're just trying to bring to their attention the need to recognize the risk involved in supporting that organization. When they left the country in disarray, and we believe that justifies us being considered to continue that process. So there's a difference between then and now, we think.
Yeah, may I make a follow-on
Sure.
answer?
Sure.
Just
Is it working? High tech.
Yeah. Hold on.
okay. But the light is on.
It's on?
High tech.
There we go. Thank you, digital experts. Just to make point that there's a very fundamental difference in terms of how you assess us as government and potential governments. So the Jamaica Labour Party campaigned on 1.5 and the PNP said it couldn't be done. We entered government and we proved that it could be done. While we have been in government, they have said, make it three, that's what we'll do. And then when they've been questioned on it, they've been unable to say how we could afford it and do it. And then they eventually had to move to a point where they said, well, they're just reviewing it. They'll consider it till it's not even in their manifesto. And what that shows is the two different capacities and understandings of the teams that make up the parties that form potential government in this country. One has been able to prove that it is able to do what it says and says what it will do, and the other continues to say anything that it thinks will give them a forward or that will help people support them. But they have consistently, in the 1970s, in the 1990s, and in the 2000s, been unable to deliver for the Jamaica people in the same way that they haven't even been able to stick to a policy position that's clear on an income tax threshold.
Thank you, Senator. Another question.
Siobhan Campbell, Nationwide News. I have several, but in the interest of protocol, I'll ask those in our second go around. My question is to the chairman. You said the manifesto, your manifesto, the JLP's manifesto, will come at an appropriate time, but we are less than a month from the general election. What does the JLP then consider an appropriate time? And in an addendum to that, the People's National Party is suggesting that you've delayed that manifesto launch because you're going to attempt to one-up them, as they so say. What do you respond to that?
I will say that the absolute gall of a party that copied and pasted half of our policies and programs put them forward to then say that we're waiting to copy them. I mean, there's so much
It's
dissonance in
laughable.
what they're saying that any Jamaican who sits to think for 2 seconds about what they say and what they do will see that they are simply not ready. They're not ready. We're confident in our manifesto. And the fact is, our chairman alluded to it just a while ago, the achievement document is, people love it, they want more achievements, they want more books. It has not run its course in a sense. There's still a lot of political interest in what we have, telling us what you've been doing. And they're interested and they're inspired. And we are sharing that information in response to the people who want it.
So if I may, I think it's important to say again that this organization, Jamaica Labour Party, is not pursuing the strategy that the PNP is pursuing. That's their right. They can do whatever they want. If they want to put out a AI-generated cut and paste document, for me, it's an insult to the people of Jamaica and the intelligence of the people of Jamaica. But that's their business. Our business is to provide good governance. And we also have been in government for 9+ years. And we have to, as part of our approach, demonstrate what that 9 years has resulted in. Now, people naturally know, many do, some have to be reminded. That's our strategy. The manifesto becomes now the aspirational hope for the future. We don't want to mix up the two. So this issue of timing is based on our approach, which we think is the right approach from an understanding perspective, and nobody's going to force us because they're putting out something irrespective of all the challenges that they obviously are finding out after the fact. I mean, whether it's 8, 10, or 11 pillars, for example. So that we will put out our manifesto in short order. It's completed. A lot of work went into it. Chairperson and her team, lots of consultations took place, and we're going to do it orderly, professionally, and demonstrate the future direction under the Andrew Holness-led Jamaica Labour Party.
Just to add, Dr. Tufton, with regards to the booklet record achievements, I've been walking in my constituency and I've walked with packets of these books, and every gate that I go to and I hand it to persons, literally they are smiling and they're so happy that I'm coming to their gate, handing them one. Persons ask for more than one from me. So it's so well received by people that they can finally read and see the number of record achievements that we have had as an administration.
Thank you, Favour. We have a question from the Gleaner.
Very long, God. But to Andrew declaration of doing it.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Tufton, could you indicate...
I'm going to ask to introduce itself, then proceed to the question.
I'm sorry.
Okay, man, thank you.
Liver and Barrett, the Gleaner. Dr. Tufton, can you indicate what is the total budget for the JLP's election campaign? And as a rider to that, can you indicate if you have received any donation from corporate Jamaica?
I can't give any information on the total budget. There is a legal requirement, obviously, and after the fact, I think that meeting those requirements in terms of filings and so on will determine that. So if you have some patience, I'm sure that that information becomes clear in due course. As it relates to donations, I know you know that we do not exist in the context of state-sponsored political campaigning, and therefore donations or contributions are par for the course by all political organizations. And therefore, I am sure that some organizations will contribute, some individuals will contribute. I have no specifics of that. That's not my area. But I don't think there is any naivety around whether or not organizations or individuals contribute to political activity, especially at this time.
My next question or series of questions is to the Minister of Finance, Favour Williams. Are you prepared for the upcoming economic debates? And there is a criticism that was going around that the format was changed somehow in order to accommodate what some see as your inexperience. How do you respond to that claim?
I am prepared for the upcoming debates. I'd not heard that claim before. So I can't comment on that claim at all.
Okay, then just another one. There's a criticism leveled against the opposition spokesman, Julian Robinson, on finance, that he did not speak during their manifesto presentation. I believe it was on Tuesday. There's also a question, why did you, as the finance minister, not speak during the JLP's mass rally on Sunday?
Well, I found it curious that Julian did not speak as the spokesperson on finance. But in terms of the lineup for speakers at the mass rally, Dr. Tufton,
I don't think you should compare both. Actually.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's two different contexts, and we don't have the right to speak about why their persons speak or don't speak. That's not our business. Maybe it's because he wasn't proud of the document. In terms of our program, we have an approach where we position ourselves as a team. It's a team effort here around this table. There are several teams right now in the field as we speak, working with candidates, campaigning, carrying the message of the Labour Party. And that's how we do it. We decide what is appropriate at a particular point in time. We are very comfortable and confident with our Minister of Finance. She has demonstrated, as just a while ago, that she understands the budgetary process, that she's sharp, and that she is doing and has done an excellent job. And she has several responsibilities, constituency included, and you are hearing from her now, and the country will continue to hear from her going into the election.
Okay, and then just two final ones, one to you, Dr. Tufton, and one to Dr. Morris Dixon. There is a call that you apologize for what it now seems to be.
Bad man, not apologize for
night during the mass rally.
Doctor,
would you answer that call to apologize? And to Dr. Morris Dixon, your opposition spokesperson suggests that there was a fall in literacy and numeracy under the current administration. He's essentially suggesting the current administration is at fault for that. How do you respond to that claim?
Okay, so I've seen in the media space a published document or a written document that is supposed to be served on me. I have not received it as yet, and as soon as I receive it, my lawyers are on standby to respond and to make a counterclaim against the individual who has made their claim. So until I receive that document, I have no other comment on the matter. I've said what I've said, and I hold my position.
Right, thank you for that question, and I'm glad I get the chance to clarify things. When we look at the data around literacy and around numeracy, you see a different kind of picture. There's some years where you see the scores up, some years where the scores are down. Also depends on what metric you're looking at. Now, we do know that we went through a pandemic that had significant impact on our children. Significant learning losses took place. That is globally identified as a problem for many children. So when we look at a lot of the data coming out of COVID and right after COVID, across the world, you see a dip in some of the performance of our children. So that's universal. What have we done? What have we done as an administration? We have doubled down our efforts to reach these children. We've had the maths camps, the English camps that I see in the manifesto also, but we've been doing that. If you look at footage from December last year, during Christmas, I was teaching in one of the maths camps. So we've been working really intensively with our students and with our teachers. And you would have seen success already. The PEP results were clear. We went up. Those children at grade 4 who did PEP this year at grade 6 We were really, really worried about them at grade 4. And now at grade 6, their scores increased tremendously. So that says to Jamaica that we are seeing results. We're seeing success for our children. And then tomorrow, listen out. Tomorrow, CXC results are coming out. And you will see the results of the work of this administration tomorrow also as a part of that release of the data.
Hint, hint, hint.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dana Morris-Dix. We're prepared to take 2 more questions. Then we'll close this media conference as news time approaches. Do it.
Thank you, Abka, for one final one from me. The opposition, the PNP, they've repeatedly mentioned this discretionary spend that each administration has around $350 billion. From what you know, Minister Williams, is such a spend in existence, and why using the funds from that? Would it be reckless or damaging to the future of the country?
As I said when I started out, there is no major line item in the budget called discretionary spending. There is none. It doesn't exist. That 359 billion you're talking about has to do with programs that we have to fund year after year after year. PATH program, grants to all our schools to ensure that they operate their, they need it for their daily operations. What we use in terms of providing for safety and security, health supplies and services, social security and welfare services, sickness and disability. There are a number of programs, important programs, that have to be funded on a recurring basis year after year after year. And so that's why I am saying to the PNP, tell us how you're going to fund your promises. Which of these programs, these recurring programs, will you do away with? Which one of them will you cut? Because I don't know where they get this idea or this notion that there are billions of discretionary funds sitting around in government. That is not so. And it just shows their lack of understanding of the budget of the government.
Do we have an additional question? No, we don't. Thank you much for those closing comments from the Honorable Favour Williams, arguably the most qualified individual to have assumed the post of Minister of Finance in independent Jamaica.
Since Niger.
Thank you much to our media partners for your attendance at this media conference. Our gratitude as well to our presenters, and to those of you who are watching online. The Jamaica Labour Party appreciates your listenership and indeed your viewership. We continue to choose policies and programs which are in the best interest of Jamaica. We choose Jamaica, and in turn we humbly ask that you choose the Jamaica Labour Party. Much has been accomplished by the administration of Dr. Holness, but we have a firm commitment to do more for you. Thank you, and have a very good afternoon.
Very well.
Was about love for country, for people, and a passion to ensure every Jamaican can secure the future we all deserve.
That was the party's response to this booklet that the PNP put out. That was the party's official response. Now, I think basically they have the same response that I did, except they call it cut and paste, ChatGPT. It shows the PNP is bankrupt.
The PNP bankrupt.
Papi show a clip. I don't know something about Patriot.
The PNP hope that Jamaica people can get them out of them bankruptcy.
They are morally bankrupt. They are bankrupt of ideas.
Bankrupt of ideas.
And it shows.
It shows.
Right? But
Stop.
You remember this morning we were talking, and we were talking about team. You hearing me?
Yeah, man, I hear you.
And we were talking about teams, and the team you put together, if you're going to play a match, you want a team that you know can give you a fighting chance of winning. And when you look at the Jamaica Labour Party team and the articulation, when they talk about policies, compared to what you were hearing when the PNP was saying that they were putting forward their manifesto. Your ear, it's like your ear, it's not like your ear quality versus quantity. The Jamaica Labour Party is above in standard and class. In every sector, everything comparable, where you can compare and so you compare each other. The Jamaica Labour Party is far and apart from the People's National Party.
Yes.
The Jamaica Labour Party is just the party we need to take us in the future. There's no question to it, bro. No question.
Yes, Omalo, I have to endorse what you just said. That's actually what I wanted to say. That when you look at the two teams, when you listen to what the PNP has to say, I don't know if I should say two teams because the PNP doesn't look like it has a team. They look like they're out of their depth. They look like they don't know what they're about. They don't know what their objective is. And Chuck, I'll go back to what I've said before, which is that the PNP is confused. It doesn't know what it stands for anymore. It doesn't have a guiding philosophy behind what it is recommending. It's running around like a headless chicken, in my opinion. There's no vision for the country, none at all. Time come argument is basically, boy, they do 2 terms already, our turn now. That's all seems to be what they're saying. They're not saying, look, we can take the country better and this is how we plan to do it. I'm not getting that feeling from them. So their team seems to be weak. They don't have the same depth as the JLP team. I mean, it's just so obvious, as Amala says. It just looks so much better on the JLP side, more competent, clear, confident, sure of where they want the country to go. The PNP doesn't strike me as a party that has that in mind. And again, there seems to be some conflict, in my opinion, between the rank and file PNP, who are still left-leaning socialists, and the leadership of the party, which is run by millionaires and billionaires.
Yes, if I may quickly add to what Omar was saying earlier. Omar, what we just witnessed is actually the playing out of the 9 love that Mr. Vaz talked about on the platform the other day. You see the 9 love really a play out for us, you see? Yeah, man. They ain't got nobody over there that is competent or able. This is an argument I've been putting forth for a long time, comparing each and every person. Look at the way Kamina Johnson-Smith carried herself. Sharp, articulate, and very informative. The same of Dr. Christopher Tufton, Dr. Dana Morrison. Same. Not to mention Favor. No, we know she's very soft-spoken and reserved, but not today. She was factual, practical, and she touched the pain point.
Yeah, let me tell you something. As Abka touched on it, I should explain to you guys. She's a chartered financial analyst, and that exam, I can tell you, is very tough. She is the first Jamaican, male or female,
I don't even know how that is
to achieve the CFA designation. A lot of people don't know that. She doesn't go around the place telling people. She's the first Jamaican to get that designation.
Which one? This? This?
There's a difference between, as I say, the team that Andrew Holness is putting together, Andrew Holness' team of cabinet members, and even at the councillor level, I get is a team that you can pick up anybody out of that team and send them anywhere in the world to represent Jamaica, and you don't have to wonder. Anybody, I'm looking, it's even been done at the councillor level, where everybody that is being asked to represent the Jamaica Labour Party have a future leadership quality in there, because them there long and put them in, or because people love them and put them in. We are putting quality, people who can serve, people who can contribute to the growth of the country. That is what we are seeing from the Jamaica Labour Party. That is what we are seeing from Andrew. To get an Andrew Marks to enter politics.
You know, Chuck, it's not even just about putting in people inside the Jamaica Labour Party, you know, but it's to consider the overall development and government structure in Jamaica. Because when the Jamaica Labour Party putting in even somebody in the Senate, when the Jamaica Labour Party putting in somebody on a board, these are not just party people where they are just serving the Jamaica Labour Party, you know. Are people with where you can look at that of merit base. Can they stand up to what it is that we are putting them there to do? And when you look at the way how the Jamaican Labour Party is doing the overall development and finding the people that can give Jamaica the best, it is magnificent. It is something to really just look at and see that it is not just a government that is trying to win power, but it is a government trying to make Jamaica a better place for Jamaicans.
Exactly so.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people on here. I haven't heard from Kizzy, Warrior Love, Connecting, and Adi. So what is that? 76.
I was waiting on everybody else to say their piece, you know. I am here.
Is it come up Portland, you know?
I am waiting on you. I am waiting on you.
Portland.
I am waiting on you. I'm waiting. But I am just in awe. I don't even know why I still get the chills, or why I'm still surprised about the competence of our team. I don't know why, but it happens every time. Maybe because when I see the PNP and them chaka presentation and them uncertainty and the nonsense that come off of them platform, when I see the class and the quality and the standard that the Jamaica Labour Party set, every time I say, how on earth we end up in a situation where these set of people, these very competent, articulate set of people end up run against them there. It just don't make no sense to me. And I am so extremely proud that they have finally started to, push back the right way. Kamina, she never put nothing over her mouth. She just call it out as it is. They were very, very clear on what they are saying, the criticisms. It's a good look. I am proud, and I'm happy that they are taking the campaign there. They're in our faces, calling out the hypocrisy, calling out the misinformation, calling out the lies, the copy and the paste, the entire scamifesto where them present to the people. I am just happy about it. It was a very good press conference. I like it.
Anybody else want to add? Connecting? I see Connecting is not here. Warrior.
Woman, I'm right here. No, I'm right here.
Oh, go ahead, Connecting.
We're listening, man. We're listening to you. We soon talk. Go on, Mr. Connecting.
All right. I like Christopher's description of the scamifesto that the PNP presented. I like Christopher's he said hodgepodge.
How you call it?
No man, I kiss it till I will get the word wrong. This man get the word over Kizzy like.
Yeah, the
free girl from open what's your name? From first lady constituency. I'm prominent black man. What's your name again? I forgot the name. I'm prominent. She come from. I think she come from
Kimmy. I'm not Kimmy.
No. I she come from road. What's your name? She live on Kizzy. She live on your life this man. She me get the word from.
Munchie?
Munchie man. Munchie be me a talk man. Munchie ask me best
It was Munchie who said Scammefisto.
Yeah,
Yes, Munchie, say I to Munchie, I go live long with the pan fire for true.
Munchie called the Scammefisto and I want to resonate with me. I will have to go try to get it in the English lexicon. The night dictionary, yeah? Scammefisto, PNP Scammefisto. But I like Christopher's description of the hodgepodge. Complete mix up and blender. We're confused. When I say 8, 9, 11, I said like that 9, 10, 11. No, 8, 9, and 11.
Killers. Confusion.
Confused bad. That confused set. You know, but I am not surprised. Because I have always said, I've always called all the names that came out this morning. I wasn't alive when we were talking about a national debate. And I named Camilla Johnson because she's very aware, she's very alert, she's very educated, but she knows governance. She's aware of what is taking place in the government. You can't have no debate and leave out Camilla Johnson. You must have a female there. And although you have a strong parent here and some other strong female, of course the finance minister.
Camilla is really good.
Now let me tell you something. One of the problems the JLP has now, I'm going to use the West Indies cricket of the 80s and 90s. You also have to open, there's money and that one in Garden Green. And then lock out all the opening batsmen in the Caribbean. There was a guy named Lambert. Clayton Lambert from Guyana thing. Every year he make a whole heap of century, maybe a double century, and he could not find a way in the West Indies team because of Greenwich Engage. That is what is happening to the JLP now. They have a whole bunch of competent people who are ready to take on leadership at any level of the party. But because it's very good for the party, so they have a good look for the party. Especially when you look at what is happening across the hodgepodge side over the PNP scammers. Then we have nobody there, everybody top over the one another. And they're in a total confusion and chaos.
You know who else to look out for connecting? You know who else to look out? You know who else we should look out for? That's Audrey Marks. Trust me, she's going to be a firebrand as well.
Floyd Green, young Cornell Charles, a whole heap of them today. A whole heap of Bright Spark today.
You know what I love? I love how they're being professional and not being cussy. We know they panda. They're professionals at what they do. In the country's affair, very professional. When they come to public engagement and speaking to the public, very professional. And that's how we want to keep it. That's the standard we want Jamaica to go to. We don't want chaka. We do not want chaka because, like she said, brand Jamaica is a big global brand that they have represented chaka or them try to bring down, and we know they pan that. Jamaica don't want that. So I just love how they do it. Listen, the future of the party, the future of Jamaica is bright. It is in great, capable hands. Well-thinking individuals. I want you to also take note, everybody that is listening, to how each person handle their own portfolio. The level of clarity, awareness, and how informative they are in carrying out and speaking about their role. Brilliant presser.
Well, you know,
Travi. I was listening to it. I listened to it from start to finish. And I really like it. You know, some people would be a little hesitant as to why them I call press conference talking about the manifesto. Yes, we need to. We need to show the people because yes, we are discussing it amongst ourselves. But us discussing it amongst ourselves is not putting it on record. They having the press conference is actually put it on record. Let it be known, let it be said that the manifesto that was presented to us was nothing but chat GPT. The next thing that disappoints me, and yes, we do know that there's no such thing anymore But the journalism have gotten really bad, really, really bad. The only person, and I'm not saying it because, yeah, I rather them, but the only journalist that seemed to ask a question that makes sense was Nationwide News. Yes, he disappointed me yesterday, but I think him kind of score a little bit more points today. For instance, Gleaner. And they did this before where Darl Valls had this press conference about the bus. Sat there, they didn't have anything to say. They asked very silly questions. And even when Darl Valls was specifically asked for Gleaner, they never have anything to say. But Sunday, them create headline, misleading headline. Now Gleaner is going to ask about campaign funds. Did anyone ask PNP where did they get the funds from to be campaigning for 3 years? Listen, if PNP was smart, the money that they spent campaigning for 3 years, busing people because them want the meeting them pack, the road tour and all these stuff would have been used now for them to present something as masterful as our mass rally that was presented Sunday. It's obvious that the mass rally that was held on Sunday, a lot of money was spent. But if you compare it, because remember, JLP was having small meetings in classroom. They weren't running up and down all over the place, having unnecessary meetings. They weren't dragging people from town to Mobile when they keep in meetings. So they have savings. They have savings.
No, but the PNP said they have money enough with the girl. They said they have money.
That is what they said, but why no one not questioning them about their money? No one not asks them about how is it that, what is their campaign budget, and if it is that they get money from private sector. Every party, it's not illegal for political parties to get donation from private company. Private companies tend to both donate to both. It's not illegal.
The question is as dumb as a brick.
But Travis, it is a setup because let me tell you this. Look out for the minions them going to be on here talking about XYZ company and labor right because then give this to that. Look out, because this is not the first time Gleaner does it. And the second person, because they are both a part of the group, RJR group, the TVJ reporter that asked the question that was already, two questions that he asked was very silly and dumb. But would it be said that he was talking about the 1.5? They dismissing the PNP.
What they're doing now is mirroring the PNP dismissing the 1.5. That is said to say, oh, the PNP plan good as this. And
not only that, Travis, it's two different things, because I remember as clear as day when JLP presented their 1.5, they had to explain how it is going to be financed.
Exactly.
They had to. No one came out and said, manifestors don't need to be explained. They had to explain it because they were being pressured to. Because they all have a man who quote unquote name economist named Ralph Iman was on every platform, every media stating that it's not feasible and it's expensive and it's going to cost the country XYZ.
But I'll say this to you, Ren. So the question being asked of the PNP's manifesto is not the JLP single-handedly and solely asking this question. These are national questions. The entire nation of Jamaica is asking people. Jamaica Ayad and Jamaica Brother ask these questions. So they make it sound like it's just the JLP that is against.
But Travis, even when he asks the second question, because a two-time he asks one about the 1.5, isn't it the same? And when he asks about the second question, he quote and he noticed he was looking at the phone. So obviously he got it from the PNP, and he's like, this assumed discretion. The finance minister don't tell us that there's no line item in the budget named discretionary fund, but she's assuming that they're talking about the program funds, and she explained it and so forth. In Big Babu now come later on after Kamina give her presentation, Dana give her presentation. You ask about 1.5 crop. You know on the phone and look. This discretionary funds, could it be the 350, whatever? And she said, I said it before. She said, I told you before that this could have been the program budget, but bear in mind it's a recurring funds. This is funds that we pay for parts, grants, and so forth. These are money that have to be paid every year. Are you going to be cutting these funds? That means like, weren't you listening before? But no, you never listen. PNP tell her one something for ask, you come ask and look like a damn fool. And I love how she answered Favour. Say what you want about Favour, and I guess the issue with Favour is how she delivers sometime. But she answered in exception in the well. She said, I said it before. And she went back to expand what she had said before. What PNP is proposing is a Dutch program that is in the US that Elon Musk came up where they cut funding here in order to finance.
Hold on, Renz, I'm glad you touched that because this is a question I asked before you come on, before the press conference. I asked Amal, asked Chuck, asked Angel who have been here from that time. I specifically said the Jamaican people need to ask the PNP where they will be cutting funds, what programs will be scrapped to fund their budget. And we went into it. I was asking about parts. I believe Adi was here too. We were asking about the different programs because me for one know nobody don't want the social housing program funding to be cut, especially the prospective aspirants of receiving a house from that. So the PNP need to come forth and tell the Jamaican people how they are going to fund this. So these aren't questions that is solely of the JLP.
But I heard that they came out with
asking these questions.
I heard that they came out with a cost. Did you hear it? Because I didn't hear it.
They came out with a what?
No, they didn't come out with a cost.
Of Mark Golding said, this is not a budget, This is not a budget. Yet, when he said that, it brings me back to the point where at the budget debate, you still never bring the cost into the document you read. None of you did. So they are in a tailspin right now. And
I think the cost came from it came from the interview yesterday with NNN, where Damian Crawford was suggesting that it would have come from the discretion. I remember as clear as because I was asked.
Hold on the rings. Remember Damian has a come on TikTok and we had conversation. Me personally asked him, where will the money come from? And he said discretionary fund. He tell me that.
Yeah, and he said it yesterday as well. And I was asking, he was said it's about 10% of the discretionary fund. And me did I ask as well, I want him discretionary fund because at first me I hear it. So me I say the only thing that could be assumed to be discretionary funds are like government social programs, part money. And
we found money. They found money.
But then it put us into this position to ask the question, Renz. Tell us where will you be cutting funding at? Are you going to defund the police? Are you going to defund PATH? Are you defunding the new social pension program that has been introduced? Because the government don't have the money put on nowhere. It has been said on numerous occasions, no money no put on. No, every money that is in the budget that is talked about
is earmarked.
Already going to a particular thing. That's why you have a budget. That's what a budget means.
But Travi, if you recall, Travi, I don't know if you recall, this all free money first came about from a young lady. I don't recall which sector she represents, but she was on Nationwide speaking. And she was like, the government have money all over the place, money for whatever. And lo and behold, you hear Mark Golding come with that statement. Government have money. And Favour was like, we do not have money flying around. Every money in the budget is accounted for. And this is something where even Mark Golding is supposed to know, every person. Julian, we are talking about individuals that are in the PNP, because unlike the JLP, who have refreshed faces, the PNP doesn't. And these individuals within the PNP were once ministers. They are no strangers. So they must have an idea how the budget works and knows that there's no free money putting around.
the only money that is there is like you go take from Paula and pay Peter, which was very expressed during the COVID-19.
Renz, I'm going to show you something. If you remember the last PNP administration with Mrs. Simpson, when about mid-year, something happened and they had to come up with a new, same around education, some new program around education. And when she was asked, I wasn't on the budget, the debate stage. When she was asked, where's the money coming from for this? And she said, we found money.
Exactly.
The minister found money. And then the
finance and the minister.
We all have money laying around. And said, we found money. Yes, yes.
Not thyself. The PNP will never see government in this country. And I'm hopefully they don't see it until I die.
Oh my God.
And that's going to be a very long time.
No.
Fret not thyself. The PNP will, a disorganized organization like the PNP, a disorganized
they're not
organization.
Don't call them organization because there's no such thing as an organization there. That's a cult. They just
a disorganized cult at this moment that everybody in the PNP is jockeying for who is going to be the opposition leader, because really and truly that is the position where everybody are jockeying for right now. Them need not jockey to win election no more. Who are going to be the opposition leader? For them a jockey for who can get something the salary, when name Mark Golden salary. That's all them a jockey for right now. They know. They know. This is not the Jamaica of 1972. This is not the Jamaica of 1989. This is the Jamaica where Jamaicans are thinking and concerned about their future more than they are concerned about a party. All of the little people them were tied and attached to party politics and said them come from this era and their mother and father they grow. Them can continue with that. But the masses of Jamaicans really not in that. The masses of Jamaicans want to know say they can go and buy a car and put in a them driveway and buy a house and can do the things them where them want to do and take care of them family the way how they want to take care of them family. Them not in no PNP or no JLP, them in the government is proving themselves to work.
I can attest to what you're saying. I can attest to what you're saying because yesterday on the road, every other young person I spoke to, they told me either their mother or father is PNP and they are choosing differently. So you are totally correct. The next generation is not with them and this mama and papa generational politics thing. They are not with it. Definitely not with it. You would have seen even on the Observer, there's a video that gone viral now with a mother and her son. And the mother said, my mother was a PNP, I am a PNP. And the son boldly said in front of my mother, say, hey, because my parents, them did I idiot, them lack education. He's a labor right. I don't know if you see that video, but the young people not with this generational thing where them a try no tribal nothing. And I know that some upset. I hear the Prime Minister say it yesterday out of one mouth. There is no safe seat. And some people sit down and think, say them can just go around and bank on the politics of yesterday to send them to Parliament. Not happening. Definitely not this election.
Too much exposure, Kizzy. This is about pocketbook. This is about economics. This is about lifestyle. People are exposed to a lot of different things. The Prime Minister have opened up Jamaican eyes to a whole heap of things. You know how much new car dealer come on in a Jamaica? You know the look of Jamaica. I think people are walk on in a Jamaica talk about say them are vote for the party when I make them life upgrade. This is about standard of living. It's not about no more.
I was just about to touch that point. And I want to get into it even detail because a brand new RAV4 is going for like 6.8 million plus. And you can get one of these new Chinese made vehicles that them bring into Jamaica right now. For 3.5 to 4 million, brand new, same size, with even better features. and look even better. And what has happened is these Chinese companies that have been invited into Jamaica by this administration is actually rivaling the used car market, the Japanese used car vehicles, because if you get a used car for around about the same price, they're selling their brand new vehicles for SUVs and sedans. And that has changed the standard of Jamaica.
Chabe, with this competition and the Chinese them coming in, you know what it's going to do? Raise our standard of living, and in the same time give us a better, a cheaper cost to live in, because we have more competition and people have got to compete to stay in the market. We road pave we road pave and no patrol no depend it. I drive go right back in a Jamaica house. Yeah, right now, Andrew can build a speech where am I go give to Jamaica, because this done seal already. When I ask, because me sure Jamaican people them not going to sit back and let some people in a 2025 make some people dress up in a clothes to come with demonstration and all these type of things to come vote for them. It not going to work. Them days are done. It's over within a Jamaica.
Well, but I would like to know. I hear Troy speak on it today as well, and I also agree. You're saying that you want us to extend the Senate to give to these individuals. Wouldn't they be already party aligned? They are already party aligned. Show me which person in the diaspora that isn't aligned to a party. No, show me one. As a matter of fact, and we need to be questioning all of these stuff, We really need to. Because I don't remember, some of you might remember when we were here fighting about the diaspora out there protesting and all of these stuff. PNP went over there and speak to them, and within a couple of days, they were outside protesting. We need to ask, is this your reward to be out there protesting? Instead of them, want to feed them 8 Senate seats, them come chat about extent so they can keep for them 8 people where they want, plus have extra seats for their syndicates. Don't even want to touch upon Maroons, because the Maroons have been saying over and over that they are a sovereign state. Especially, and it's not all Maroons did, it's just Richard Corey Clan. But we all know when they say Maroons, they're talking Richard Corey. I don't know secrets. So how is it he wants to be in the Senate, taking a part of our decision with laws, and at the same time you walk up and down and say you're a sovereign state? I want to make it make sense. So that means Trump can come here to he's the head of a quote-unquote sovereign state. And you want to come in a few Senate can commit law. So that means even Trump can come here commit law. Me and Motley can come here commit law. Zelensky can come here commit law. Putin can come here commit law. These are all sovereign states.
That's what they claim. I was talking about it earlier, and I was talking about it, but not just the Maroon who claims that they're sovereign state, but Jamaicans who have sworn allegiance to other countries, right? You're saying they can not only swear allegiance to other countries, but they can live overseas and direct policy positions for the people who live in Jamaica.
But one of the reasons they're comfortable in proposing this, Travi, one of the reasons they're so comfortable in proposing this, you have an opposition leader that 90% of his assets are in a different country. He boldly walks and let us know that he's a dual citizen. He's a citizen.
I don't support it.
Well, I know, what point I'm getting at is that we kind of have a blame for this, because in no other country would a person be like Mark Golan be allowed to be a part
I want to give this lady here is it Calra? I don't want to butcher her name, but I want to give that. But hold on, let me say this to you. Renz, one of the problem with that, is that they're saying that it is legal for him to do so, which is true. And the problem with that is the current constitution, and that's why they stopped the process. Because here's the problem I personally have with the current constitution. That is an act of the British Parliament. Jamaica needs to have a constitution which is an act of the Jamaican people. And they have stopped it from happening. And then to later find out that Mark Golan is a British citizen, so too is Julian Robertson. These people are vying for the 2 highest offices in government. So we can't take this lightly. Because while we can, we can quarrel and probably protest, then again it comes down to the constitution and the legal right they have. Because even PJ, who's such a powerful player in their party, has told them, yo, get rid of that. But here they are going into a general election with the same problem. I don't support having no foreigner or no Jamaican who live overseas, invested overseas, to be sitting in our Senate and collecting the taxpayers of Jamaica's money, enriching themselves to take away abroad. If you have so much interest in Jamaica, and if you're so worried in Jamaica, move back home, anchor yourself home, and then serve the country.
Just a minute there, Travis.
Move back home.
Travis, just a minute. You know what I said? I said anybody overseas that want to be in Jamaica, in the Senate in Jamaica, your earnings that you earn overseas, you pay that amount, you pay the taxes from that in Jamaica. Whatever we charge in taxes here in Jamaica, we're going to charge you that amount from your earnings overseas. And then we know, say, you are patriotic to Jamaica, because it's two very things that you...
It's unfair to the people who live and reside here and pay taxes here.
Just a minute. It's two very things that you test people patriotism to. Their taxes they pay and the war they fight for their country. Pay taxes to Jamaica. Every earnings that you have in America, let us charge you that and income taxes here in Jamaica. Pay that to Jamaica and we will consider putting in our Senate.
All right, I pause to let through. Madam, I don't want to butcher your name, please. Right next to Red is here. So.
Hello, look clear.
Good afternoon. As a young person, I must say this meeting that my Prime Minister, my very wonderful leaders planned today was well needed, because even though I read the manifesto and I saw the copy and paste, I was like, if only our leaders could actually clap back on the manifesto, it would be the best thing. And the way how Kamina handled herself intelligently, I must commend her. She literally clocked the manifesto so educated, well spoken, and for those young people who have not read the manifesto, we can now see that the manifesto, whatever our uncles and aunties and TikTok was talking about, was indeed correct. Because remember, you guys were the first one. Kimmy and the others said the manifesto was a copy and paste to our achievement book. And from there, if we didn't complete the manifesto itself, we were able to now get a better understanding of the manifesto from today's meeting. And then the Q&A segment, I was so pissed, because why I asked the man if corporate Jamaica fund the party? Like, how is that necessary in the midst of an election? Why your business but corporate Jamaica business? Like, if corporate Jamaica wants to fund JLP party, you don't care why I ask the people, the leaders that. And I love the way how Mr. Tufton handled that question well. And the fact that Mr. Tufton said when Mr. KD Knight sent him his lawsuit, he will countersuit it. Because when I listen to the original voice note versus what they claim to say is doctored, it's the same thing I'm hearing. I don't hear any doctored version. The only thing I heard different is that you guys played out the original, while Uncle Tufton just literally looked for the exact part where he said something like that Mark Golan is not fitting to be Prime Minister. He just went for that section, screen recorded, and played that. He did not say
that's hold on, let's clear. Hold on. See, that audio that he played was something that has been into the social media space for years, maybe about 4 or 5 years now.
So I don't see where they mean by that was
But which one is the actual one? Which one is the correct one?
Because because hold on, them play one of them say the correct one. But that has been in social media since about 2019 because this whole fiasco started when he was running to become president and he became president in 2020 and we're in 2025. So it is over 5 years that this thing has been out there. They never contested it, they never said anything. But here and now they want to try and, you know, for scare or for bully. Well, let's go to the court and it will be decided there. Other than
Travis, sorry, darling. Let her finish. Continue, darling.
And the fact that Dr. Tufton said that, you know, anything based on how they're acting on the media saying, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then the Jamaica Labour Party came out and said, we back our health minister with whatever is going on. I would, based on how Uncle Tufton talked today, I swear to God, he would have gotten that lawsuit instead of they're now out saying that they're demanding an apology from Uncle Tufton. That don't make no sense. So after all this so big and bold on the one apology, and then you guys have not sent him the lawsuit as yet, because Uncle Tufton obviously said today he has not received the paper, but once he did do, he will countersue that paper. And my take is that for everybody, for all the young people hearing my voice, it's time to choose Jamaica. We're not supposed to be going backwards. We have seen the work of the Andrew Holness government. We have seen the eloquentness of our government. We have seen how they are intellectual. We want leaders that are intelligent and working, not leaders who claim to be intelligent and then promise but don't work. And we have seen it in the past where previous government where they would have promised us, like for example, they promised us that they would reduce JPS bills, and in previous years, instead of JPS bills went down, it went up. And that's when Mr. Holness came into power. He decided to cut some taxes on JPS bill, and that's when a lot of people JPS bill went down. Because if you remember, if you know, a lot of bills he started this program even with Water Commission, where you start to get some promises go back down for you, so you don't have to pay much money if you owe a certain amount of money. And the fact that our government have been doing all this for us, that means he's a man who cares. He's a man who cares for the people. And for all who saying that Mr. Holness do not care, he's only for the rich, I would say yes, he's for the rich, but he's also for the poor. And why he is for the rich is because the fact that he's for the rich to help the rich to build this country so that the poor can benefit from the rich.
How old are you, darling?
24.
How much? I didn't hear you.
24.
Can you pronounce your name for Travis?
I'm 24.
I hear. Can you pronounce your name for Travis? Kalara.
Kalara.
Okay, Kalara.
Yes.
Travis, you here now? Kalara.
How old are you?
Kalara. All right, I got it.
How old are you, Angel?
34.
24.
Yes, baby, I'm 34. Thank you.
Not getting into that one. Tino, give you a chance. You came on after Kalara.
Yeah, man, bless me. Just there, I sleep and I hear everything same way. Then I'm 7 minutes jump on the line. Out of sleep, when I wake me up, you know. But everything when I say, and let me say something. You see, for years, the Jamaica Labour Party have sit down and become so dormant. And dormant to the fact that they used to make the people them from the other side used to run circles around them. Long gone are the years when Labour writers go sit down and make no PNP run circle around them. Because why? Them say them full of liars. And the only thing when liars do, I tell lie, you know. I guess if I is a liar and you tell lie, me will never trust you, you know. And you see that false narrative I talk about him go sue Dr. Tufton. He can't sue Dr. Tufton because it's his voice, and there's no such things as AI interpreted. It's out there in the public for years, and them have to learn. Say people not fool no more. People is no fool anymore.
They used to use lies as a means to silence people. That's what that is about. And the PNP practice.
That's what it's about.
From way back, and then they realize that it's not working. They used to
PJ did it all the while. Him did it to Cliff Hughes to silence him when them that come in on the plane, digital big plane there. Then him did it to other various other people in Jamaica. Jamaican people ain't no fool no more. We're
You
not
know,
afraid of
I honestly believe that this lawsuit excitement from KD is to distract persons from paying attention to their Scamifesto.
Yeah.
I definitely believe it's just one of their tactics because this no make no sense at all. And you know, they say it is a light version. So what it's just nonsense. Is it you're giving the public your manifesto or not? What kind of light and medium and it is a distraction. They're playing
Look at
mind
this
games.
tactic. Look at this tactic. When the Integrity Commission report did not get the effect they want, the PNP people say, oh, it is a preliminary report. The law doesn't give them that opportunity to do a preliminary report. All right? When they went to the budget debate and talk about things, thinking it would excite people and people have questions, hey, where the costing, this and that is missed. Where they say, oh no, that's not a budget that we did. We just are telling our plans and that we have to go forward. Now they come with a Scamifesto and the people again have more questions. They will resort to, hey, it's a manifesto light. We have the ultra version coming. This is what we're seeing in real life, what the Prime Minister called flip-flopping. Flip-flopping for political experience. The Prime Minister.
It is a tactic that they has been using and using successfully. What they're also doing is talking about, so where is your manifesto? Why are you asking the Jamaica Labour Party for their manifesto? Focus on yours. They have not given, and the media, if they were analyzing this so-called manifesto, this manifesto PNP put forward, they would have seen this 8 pillars and 10 pillars and 11 pillars, but nobody called it out. So it just goes to show that people are not going through it. Tino, please mute your background loud. People are not going. Someone mentioned earlier about the journalism. Journalism is really, really dead. Laverne Barrett, you could see clearly saying it's so nervous to ask these questions. The man almost a fall over upon himself. I was watching the video. When the camera come and it's like him a trip.
You realize that?
Yes, he was nervous.
His voice was cracking up.
Yes.
I couldn't see him, but his voice was cracking up.
I saw him because I was listening and I was watching the video as well. And the man a trip over himself.
Kizzy, the media is a for profit entity. The media is lying. The media house them a line up to get them commercial them. They don't want to upset nobody.
Chuck.
That's basically what they are there for.
I need Chuck for this. Chuck.
I would like to make a contribution to the conversation.
Yes.
I have to wait on Kizzy, Kizzy knows me that long distance to that.
I am muted.
You know that the PNP government should have been happy for the JLP supporters, because you know why? It's the JLP supporters literally went and read more. I'm sure that their people did not read their manifesto. Because the first one in manifesto is we first one.
Because if it was not for labor rights, I would not know what is in their document, because I had no interest to look at it. So you are correct. Anyway, I am muting. I am muting.
No, sorry, I wouldn't read it.
I'm going to be very short and brief. I don't want to lose the points, please. But if you guys will allow me.
Clean green.
Yes, please.
Honestly,
I went on it and I saw the.
No, it's going to be very short and brief. I'm dropping off the jump off, please.
Clean green. Hold on, darling. Hold on, though. But connecting has been up here for a minute now, and I've allowed everyone to speak. Okay. Hasn't said anything. Let's hear him for a minute, and then we'll come back to you, please. Thank you. Go ahead. I'm connecting.
Thank you very much, Agent. And the things I'm going to speak about, the topics I'm going to speak on, concerning the press conference, we were discussed before. The question that I think Laverne Barrett has, I think it was him. It was a daunting question, it could potentially Trust just tells you how good the JLP
And I'm gonna show you people fucked up, right? Because blacks now, they are one party. One quote unquote tranny living at the place, right? People know about the somebody there, right? And long story short, them they are one party. So like the tranny debate, right? And blacks friend them. I say, yo, see one woman there, right? I say, yo, see one woman there, go and go deal with the woman, right? But it's a tranny. All right. Watch what go on now. You know it's about 2 to 3 weeks after the said party there, the tranny put out a video with blacks. I do whatever, right? Follow me, you know?
Yeah.
Put out a video with blacks. I do whatever. The tranny, right? So, long story short now, blacks own friend them see the video, right? Blacks own friend them see the video charge it and I laugh after him. You know what blacks do? Better can't tell me. Better can't tell me what black do. Eh?
Unalive, somebody get unalive, man.
The man unalive himself charge it. Because him never know say it was a man.
Right. See it there? You see
So
it?
I show you them thing are serious.
You see it there?
You see it, them thing there now.
Ah, boy.
And I'm friend them set him up.
And them, yeah, them and them a laugh after him after him go do what them say to do. You see it?
Yeah, bro.
Ah, boy. Hey.
So what are that junkie me drunk or something?
No,
yeah, brother, the man,
him
not too right it charge it. You understand? Him not too right it, bad man, and you know them people they really not get no woman no more than so. You know them style?
Okay.
Yeah.
And them
Yeah,
see
so the
smart
tranny
in a wig
Yeah.
and dress up like a woman and sitting some blacks now say, yeah, my time this to win.
Alright. Alright.
Blacks say, finally me get something.
Yeah.
Finally me win the grand prize.
So
yeah.
Heads.
Patrick heads didn't get to look like Patrick.
But-
Heads him.
No, dog, I never heads charge it. I never heads charge it because the video. Yeah. One whole video did a charge it. You see it? I mean, I tell
So
you,
blacks
you
never realize this whole him are going
you
on.
will see the video. No, watch out now. You will see the video. You will see the video and you will and think it's a woman, you know. You will see the video, you know, bro. And think it's a woman, you know, bro.
But when you go to the
Tell me, I tell
bedroom,
you.
like, you never realize, like, ascending that say. Like, you never know it's a wrong hole.
Boy, you have to ask him that, you know, but you can't ever ask him because
You're gone.
Gone.
Yeah,
Wow.
German and still, you know, them still do it to the youth.